Bob's Breakfast.
How come the normal rules of business don't apply to Britain's train operators? I found out that not only do the rules of business not apply, the rules of physics don't apply either. So I was off on Monday because I went to a radio conference in London. For the first time in my life, I'm a commuter. That's because this thing happened in London between 8:30 and 5:30. I've never done this. I've never commuted to a major city for work. I've always driven to work, or when I was an air conditioning engineer, I was in a work van. When I worked at a construction site, a bus took me to work. I've never been a commuter. And what an experience it was. I caught the 7:51 Sardine Express to King's Cross from Hitchin. And I paid around twice as much as I normally pay for a return to London because it's peak. This is where the rules of business don't apply. Usually customers who pay the most get more. So there I was, squashed in with hundreds of other miserable people going to jobs that they hate, and standing up in the doorway, squashed next to a fat bloke and a skinny bloke, and I'm squashed so close to him I reckon I could pretty well tell you which side he dressed. I'm not happy. There's a fold-up bicycle on my shin. We're all squashed in this thing. And then I see a sign, one of those ticker tape things on the train, that says, Great Northern Trains, follow us on Twitter. Well, I did better than that. I tweeted them. So my first tweet went, I'm on Hitchin to King's Cross. How come I pay twice as much for a peak ticket but don't get a seat? Now, I wasn't expecting a reply, but I got a reply from @GNRailUK. The reply went like this. Peak services are exceptional busy, Graham. Are you able to get an earlier train to maximise your chance of getting a seat? Tina. Well, that made me even more angry, so I tweeted back to Tina. I said, it's not my fault you don't put on long enough trains. How dare you blame me? I paid for a seat. You failed to provide one. Now, I didn't hear from Tina after that. But what kind of response is that? Are you able to get an earlier train? Not now. I'm on this one. Or did I miss something? Was Tina suggesting that one of the platforms at Hitchin railway station is actually a portal into another dimension where I can travel backwards in time? Wouldn't have done me much good. The train before the 7:51 was the 7:31, and that was cancelled.
This is Bob.
This Volkswagen story's winding me up.
It's rumbling on, certainly.
Well, it's not going away,
No.
that's for damn sure. But come on, Volkswagen have done nothing wrong. They're just playing the game. Look at the goal. It's about goals here.
Yeah.
The goal of Volkswagen is to sell cars.
That's
now,
right,
to
yeah.
sell cars, they have to pass this emissions test. Fine. They designed a car that can pass the emissions test. End of the story.
Yes.
Clearly, the test needs to be more rigorous.
This is Bob.
We've been honouring heroes this morning. It's all been inspired by two very inspirational characters, Tyler and Liam Sellen, who at the time were 15 and 13, chased a killer down the street after a brutal attack. A judge praised them a couple of days ago, and on the phone now is Tyler Sellen. Good morning, Tyler.
Good morning.
Now, this all happened about a year ago.
Yeah.
This is in Bishop Stortford. Can you take me through what happened?
Well, basically, our road is a cut through from town to other estates.
Yeah.
So we thought it was kids smashing cars.
So you're in your house and you hear a commotion.
Yeah, we thought it was kids smashing cars. We had a smash.
Yeah.
So we looked outside, and our neighbour who lives opposite the house, was shouting, "He's going to kill her! He's going to kill her!"
Mm-hmm.
So I went down and had a look through the bottom window, and the bottom window was smashed, and I saw a man walking upstairs, and then we looked at the top window, and then all we saw was a man throwing down punches towards who we thought was Sally Campion.
Which was his girlfriend.
Yeah, which was Sally Campion.
So you actually saw that going on through the window?
Yeah, we saw him murdering her at that point.
Because she did die after I mean, it was a brutal attack, claw hammer, and just 41 separate injuries, they said.
Yeah.
So you saw some of that going on. So what happened next?
After that, there's a bit round the back of the house where he could escape from, because there's a car park that leads onto the back of the house.
Yeah.
So I went round the back to make sure he didn't go out the back that way.
Now, is this in the daytime or the night time?
This was around 10 o'clock at night.
10 o'clock at night. Okay, so you hear the commotion and then you see what's going on. Now, who's in your house at that time?
It was me, my mum, and my brother.
Just the three of you?
Yeah.
Okay.
But,
So then you belt out the house and go round the back of his house?
It was round the back of Sally's house. Yeah.
Right, I see. And what were you thinking at that time? What was your plan?
My plan was just to make sure he didn't get away, because at that moment, I just thought justice had to be served. He was attacking somebody, and he had the right to serve time for it.
Wow. You weren't worried about your own personal safety, because he's clearly a violent man.
No, at that moment I wasn't really worried. To be honest, the adrenaline kicked in.
Yeah.
And also, there's so many neighbours about. If anything did happen to me, it wouldn't be quite serious straight away, because there'd be so many people that come over to help straight away anyway.
There's a good community spirit in that area, is there?
Yeah, everyone on this road is like a massive family.
Okay, so then you get round the back. What happens next?
Then I heard my mum shouting,
Yeah.
and that's because the killer had walked out the front door
Yeah.
with no expression in his face. So I came back round the corner to see what was going on, and then that's when I noticed he was only a metre away from me, and all the neighbours were shouting, "That's the guy, go get him."
Now, did he have the claw hammer in his hand at the time?
No, he didn't have a
So he
claw
was
hammer in his
unarmed?
hand, but at that moment I didn't know if he did or didn't.
Right. So then what happened?
At that moment, I was looking at him, and he was looking at me, and he was walking slowly until I went to grab him, and then he decided to run away because he knew what was happening, and I was shouting at him, swearing at him, and then he decided to run away. When he ran away, that's when his flip-flops fell off,
Right.
and I chased him down to Newtown Road, but before I got to Newtown Road, I quickly went to the local pub to get some help from a few paramedics that I know were in there.
Who were in the pub that you knew were going to be in there?
Yeah.
Well, now, you're 16 now, you're 15 at the time, your younger brother's only 13. Are you big fellas like? Can you handle yourself?
yeah, we were actually they're big for our age.
Right.
Yeah.
And do you normally like a rumble? Do you like getting stuck in physically like this?
Yeah, I actually do. Me and my brother, we love to play rugby. We just
Right.
love rugby, so if we get a chance to go tackle someone, we love it.
He messed with the wrong neighbourhood here, didn't he?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, so you get to the pub and then what happens? Where's he now? Is he giving it toes down the street minus his flip-flops?
Yeah, he's running down the street without his flip-flops, and my brother's gone after him at that point.
Your brother, who's 13, is now
Yeah.
chasing this guy. Did you know then at the time that he was a killer, or did you just know he was violent?
Well, I thought he was a killer at that point because people were saying he's killing her. So immediately in my mind, he's murdered somebody.
Yeah.
And but then when I saw my brother running down the street, that's when I went after my brother to make sure he's okay.
Well, you're his big brother. That's your
Yeah.
duty. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you get down to, and then what happens? You corner him down the street, or what?
My brother got down to the bottom of the road, but then because Matthew was too fast for my brother,
Matthew is the killer. Matthew Keogh. Yeah.
Yeah, Matthew had already gone over the bridge. So my brother found a police vehicle that he flagged down straight away.
He flagged down the cops.
Yeah, he flagged down the police vehicle before he lost sight of Matthew.
Yeah.
And he told them the description of Matthew and where he'd gone to, and that's when they went to the train station and caught him straight away.
And they caught him, and he's now serving life imprisonment with a minimum of 22 years.
Yeah.
Wow. So you were in court, what, day before yesterday?
Yeah, 2 days ago.
And the judge said some nice things about you two, didn't he?
Yeah, he did actually. It was quite something. It was really nice actually, and it was a bit nervous as well. We were sitting in the middle of the courtroom in front of the judges and the High Court sheriff.
Yeah.
And
this is in St
it was
Albans.
quite something.
Yeah, and so that's got to make you feel pretty special.
Yeah, it was, and especially since we got invited down to the judge's dining room afterwards.
Did you? Good for him. He gave you some money as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
You awarded, was it £300?
£350 each.
Each, just for being heroes.
Yeah.
Well, Tyler Sellen, I know your brother's at school at the moment. I wanted to talk to him as well. You're 16 now. You were 15 at the time. He was 30. You are solid gold heroes, no doubt about it. In fact, we have a thing called Bob's Best. I'm going to put you down as Bob's Best heroes. You really are. I wish there was more kids around like you. You're an example to us all. You shame us all by being so great. Hey, is your mum there?
Thank you. Yeah.
Put your mum on the phone.
Mum.
Fantastic.
Hello.
Hey, is that Susan?
Yes, hello.
Susan, we've just heard the story there from Tyler. Amazing. You must be so proud of these boys.
Overwhelmed. Yeah, I'm very, very proud of both of them.
Well, we're very proud of them. I'm very proud of you as well. You've done a really good job raising these two kids.
Thank you.
No worries. Thank you for allowing them to be on Bob FM this morning.
No, that's fine.
We're naming them as Bob's Best Heroes.
Oh, excellent.
Okay. Hey, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much.
And please stay in touch.
Will do, thank you.
Thank you. Cheers.
Bye.
Wow, stories of heroes this morning.
This is Bob.
A new mum was fined £70 in a supermarket car park after exceeding the time limit when she breastfed her baby. Talk about a parking nightmare story. What's your parking nightmare story, Julie?
When I used to work in Hitchin, and I in the Market Square, you used to be able to park your car. So I am going back a few years ago now.
Yeah.
And I parked the car, went off and did my stuff. When I came back, someone had smashed into my car, and there was an envelope on the windscreen.
Right.
And I thought, oh, good, someone's left their details, so that's handy.
Yeah.
So when I opened the envelope, it said, I'm writing this because everyone's watching me having smashed your car. They think I'm leaving you my details, but I'm not.
What?
I know, cheek of it.
What's your abandonment story, Gemma?
My mum left me in an airport in Lanzarote.
What?
Yeah.
So, how old were you?
I was about 14. We just arrived and I was getting the suitcases and she went to go get the hire car and just left me.
In a foreign land?
Yeah.
How long were you abandoned for?
About an hour.
Well, how did she take an hour to go and get a hire car?
She didn't realise. I've got 4 sisters and she just went with them and just got to the villa and was like, oh, where's
Oh, hang on a second. No, there was... Right, she's got... So 3 sisters get in the hire car with her and drive to the villa?
None of them realise that I'm not there.
Oh, that's... And what, as far as, like, in the pecking order, are you oldest, youngest, middle, what?
I'm middle.
And the middle one gets forgotten about?
Yeah.
One of your sisters must have known that you were missing.
They're probably happy, weren't they?
Yes, and they've kept stum. Then, and they drove all the way to the villa. But you had the suitcases.
I know, so I thought they must come back.
Yeah, for the not for you, for the suitcases.
Yeah.
Gemma, are you over it now?
Yeah.
Okay, you managed to bounce back without therapy.
Yeah, I was all right.
That's a shocking abandonment tale. All right, thank you so much.
Okay,
Cheers,
thank
Gemma.
you.
This has been inspired by a local government association have put out a list of questions, stupid questions that council call centres have been asked. They have their top 10, and at number 1 is Stevenage Borough Council, who were asked, do you know how much water I need to cook super noodles? My favourite is actually the one the Poole Borough Council was asked, which is, what time does your website close? So, stupid questions you've been asked. And who asked them? Steve.
Many, many years ago, a friend of mine rang me up and asked me whether I had a spare phone. I said, yes. He said, well, I said, what's it for? He said, my good girlfriend wants an extension phone in her bedroom. He knew that because I bought one a week earlier at a boot sale. £2, put it in my cupboards, nothing more of it. Anyway, so he came around, picked up the phone, also gave him some extension lead, and a week later, I said, how did the phone fitting go? He said, well, yeah, I went in, and my missus said, where did you get the phone from? She said, I got it from Steve. I said, well, what about his phone bill?
She thought because he'd got the phone from you that it would be billed to you.
She did indeed. True story. True story.
106 Bob FM.
Talking about abandonment this morning. What's your story, Hannah?
When I was like 7 years old, I was at the swimming pool with my brother and my mum. And my brother started having a tantrum, and I was kind of abandoned because my mum was very angry and decided to drive him home and completely forgot I was still there. But the worst bit, he ended up sitting at the swimming pool in the staff room for the next like 30 minutes and talking to all the lifeguards, and ended up, they still recognised me when I was 16 because I used to go every week, and now I'm working there.
Oh, now
So
you
my
work there! So it started, it was kind of destiny, wasn't it? It was fate. It said you are going to spend a lot longer here than you had planned. So what do you do there at the swimming
I'm now
pool?
lifeguarding.
You're
with
lifeguarding?
a lot of the staff that was still here when I was 7.
Right, and they remember when you were abandoned?
They remember sitting with me in the staff room when I was abandoned, and then my mum turned up, and then as I started coming back every week and I got older, the second I turned 16, they were like, "Do you lifeguarding? You can work here with us."
Well, you know the
So, yeah, I
staff,
got
you
myself a job.
know where the staff room is, you know where to go and get coffee, you're pretty much all set there, yeah. And where is this, Hannah?
Exactly. It's at Hitchin.
Oh, Hitchin Swimming Centre. Hey,
Yeah,
you were
that's where I was.
runner-up for Bob's best day out, yes, yeah.
Well, it is a good day out.
it
Came
is.
back every week, even after being abandoned.
Yes. Good morning, Sarah.
I've asked a stupid question.
What did you ask?
Well, when Princess Diana died, there was obviously a lot on the news about her and her family and everything, and speaking about Earl Spencer and this, that, and the other. And then, like a day later or so, it started talking about her brother, Charles Spencer. And I sat there and I said to my mum, "Well, I thought her brother's name was Earl."
You thought her brother's name was Earl?
Yeah, and didn't realise it was a title.
Wardrobe malfunctions and accidental indecent exposure. What's happened to you, Jane?
I thought I'd give my husband a treat and, dress up in the suspender belt and stockings and everything. We went out to the local pub, and I had a suede skirt on, mini skirt in those days, so it was a long time ago, with poppers all the way down. And as I got up to go to the loo, my husband called me back, and as I turned round, I caught my skirt on a chair, and the poppers just went boom, and my skirt fell to the floor. So I just didn't give my husband a treat, I gave the whole of the pub a treat.
Hello, who's this?
Good morning, sir. It's Bob from Stevenage. Stupid question.
What have you been asked?
With my son, we was going up to London, and you got the London Cemetery, which is huge.
Yeah.
And it was a carriage full of people, and he looked at me, looked at the cemetery, and he said, "Here, Dad, how many people are dead in there?" So I said, "All of them."
I nearly recommended that my in-laws watch soft porn. The night before last, there was a TV show on BBC One, 9 o'clock, called Dr. Foster. Now, it was shot in Hitchin, which is good because Julie and I, we live in Hitchin. Now, Julie's parents live in New Zealand, and they've never been to Hitchin. We've been telling them all about it and how we like it. And then I said to Julie, I said, well, hey, there's this TV show on last night. I haven't seen it, but apparently shot in Hitchin. They get a lot of British TV in New Zealand. We should tell your parents to look out for this show, Dr. Foster, and we can say, hey, look, that's where we live. That's what it looks like. So just to have a look at it, because I didn't see the show live, I go on the BBC iPlayer. Hooly dooly. Did you see the opening scene? Now, it didn't help that when I went onto the iPlayer, for some reason, the audio description there's a switch, audio description. It must be if your site's not so good. They have a creepy voice describe what's going on. So this is the very opening scene from Dr. Foster with the audio description on the iPlayer turned on.
An attractive woman in her 30s lies sleeping in bed with daylight falling on her face. A man's hand tenderly strokes her hair. Without opening her eyes, the woman gently clasps his hand and he plants a brief kiss on her lips. Gemma opens her eyes and smiles up at Simon as they kiss again. Bearded, good-looking Simon helps Gemma remove her top.
Oh!
She throws the garment across the bedroom while he straddles her in his underwear and unbuttons his shirt.
Okay! Goodness me!
Now, both naked,
All right.
they melt into a joyful...
Okay, you get the idea. God! The parents, what? They're going to think that hitching is a hotbed of erotic sexual intrigue. So if they do mention that they've watched a great show called Dr. Foster, I'm not going to tell them where it's shot.
Follow us on Twitter at BobFMUK.
Morning, Steve.
I've got a really stupid question I was asked as a kid.
Yeah.
I was really lucky enough to go to America when I was 16.
Wow.
And spend 4 weeks out with my auntie and uncle.
Fantastic.
And while I was out there, I met this amazing, stunning girl.
Right.
And tried to impress her.
Yeah.
And I walked up to her and said hello. And the first thing out of her mouth was, "Oh, wow, you're English." Yeah, that's me, yeah. She goes, "Oh, say something in your language."
Bob's Breakfast.
Oh, these politicians have annoyed me this morning. More expensive scans. A load of them just still haven't paid. They keep writing to them saying, please, will you pay what you owe? And they've been putting things on their credit. They've got like a company credit card they give them. They've been putting things on their company credit card that were not work-related. And they owe this money. I tell you, if I wish I was in charge of all this, I'd say, in my office now, right, it's 11 o'clock now, you don't have that money on my table, by 12 o'clock you're fired. That'll be the end of that. I wouldn't even mess about. Julia's on the phone. Morning, Julia. You all right?
I'm very well, thank you.
What are you laughing at?
I'm just laughing at you giving them an hour to pay up.
Fair's fair. Dock their wages. That's the easiest thing to do.
Whoa.
What?
They're not wages. So you need to be aware, one thing not aware of, MPs are on contract.
Right.
They are not employed, technically, they are not employed by the state.
Okay, they're contractors.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll take it out of their fee. That's an expense
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want to know how, as contractors, do they get so much provided for them? I'm a contractor.
Yeah.
And, it's now starting to get to the stage where I'm expected to turn up with my own equipment, my own, if I have to do expenses, I have to pay it out and then I have to claim it back if it's legitimate. Or, I don't get given, there's no way, I cannot think, I was thinking back, I cannot think of a contract where under the terms and conditions of that organisation, they would permit a contractor to hold a company credit card.
Yes. You don't get it. You don't. Yeah.
No, you don't. You have to pay it out, and then you claim it back if it's legit.
If it's legit, but usually it's all part of the deal in the contract. I've been a contractor. A lot of radio stations I've worked at on the air, I've been a contractor, and some of them you've had to provide things like your own headphones, and things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But you claim it back on your tax, but you don't claim it as an expense. Yes, so you're right. This is quite amazing that they're managing to use company credit cards, or company, we're talking about the nation's credit card, and when they're basically a contractor. So, yes.
So this is real, for me, and they have HMRC chasing me down to make sure that I pay everything correctly.
Yes. All right, Julia, good point, well made. Thank you so much.
All right, cheers, bye.
Bob's Breakfast with My Toolshed. For the latest DeWalt cordless.
More than 100 well-known names have called for the UK to take in more refugees.
Thanks a lot, Chris. So who is calling for Britain to do more now? Movie stars?
Movie stars Keira Knightley, Jude Law, Benedict Cumberbatch, amongst the others.
This is weird. They're calling for Britain to do more. Maybe we should be doing more. But why aren't more people saying that the Gulf states need to do more? Closer neighbours than Britain, closer culturally, and usually the same religion as the people that are fleeing from the likes of Syria. So far, I just want to give you some facts and then we'll leave it alone. You make your own mind up. So far, only Jordan and Lebanon have taken migrants. They're the only two Gulf states, and they're not very rich Gulf states. Lebanon has taken so many migrants that a quarter of Lebanon's population is now migrants. But the richest, and I'm looking at you, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, UAE, Qatar and Bahrain, the richest have taken none. They have a combined GDP of $2 trillion a year. And a combined population smaller than Britain of only 55 million people. So they have the room and they have the resources. But why is nobody saying they need to do more? MP's expenses in the news again this morning. Badger, you've got an idea.
I think what they should do is organise for a half day or a day trip to one of Britain's most horrible prisons and just say, you carry on the way you're going, you're going to be spending a lot of time in here.
Yeah, because they've stolen. They've committed the crime of theft, but they've stolen from the people who elected them to represent them.
Yeah, God,
it's like the
worst.
worst.
The opportunity to nick it in the first place, dodgy bill. But no, I'd say you're going to go to prison. You don't pay back, you're coming in here.
So you say sacking them is not enough. They should also spend some time in behind bars as well.
You need to pull 20 of them out at random and just shoot them. Yeah?
And just shoot them. I think that's a bit extreme, Badger.
Any that are still alive, you need to shoot.
Yeah.
No, seriously, any that are still alive, you need to shoot them again.
Okay, all right. Badger, thank you, sir. Took a turn there. I thought you had a point to make there, but I don't know. A little extreme, I think. All right, thank you, Badger. I'm Graham Mack, and I hope you're enjoying the podcast. If you are, make sure you share it on Facebook and Twitter, and you can subscribe at iTunes. Good morning, it's great to be back. I'm Graham Mack. Hey, I've only been away for a couple of days, and what happens? The whole political landscape has changed, Chris. I mean, this didn't happen on my watch.
I thought you'd maybe have some sort of sway in this, but clearly not on this occasion.
Well, no.
The world is spiralling out of control.
It really is, but it's good to get people engaged and talking about politics.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good thing. I think the Corbyn thing, it is quite amazing what's gone on. Let me just say this. There's no way he can get elected. His views are too extreme to the left. Just like there's no way UKIP can run the country. Their views are too extreme to the right. Elections are won in the middle. The last Labour government we had was because Blair took them to the middle from the left. Some could even say that David Cameron's last election was because he took them slightly further to the middle from the right, where they were, the elections are won in the middle, and this guy's too far. But the press are scaremongering, saying he's got these radical ideas and this could happen and he wants to do this. Doesn't matter what he wants to do. He's not going to get in. So don't worry about the Corbyn thing. Just don't worry about it. He hasn't got it. Whether you agree with his policies or not, don't worry about it. He's never getting in. Labour's not getting in while he's at the helm. It's not going to happen.
It'll be interesting to see how long he lasts.
Yeah. The way the press, I mean, this one over your lead story, the national anthem thing.
It was Battle of Britain Memorial Service.
Battle of Britain Memorial. Very important thing that we should all remember. They're accusing him of not showing respect to the Battle of Britain and the people who put their lives on and lost their lives for our freedom.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying by not singing the national anthem.
That's what they're saying.
Yes. Now, the national anthem, although it is called the national anthem, it's not much about this nation. It's a sycophantic song to do with the royal family. It's called God Save the Queen. God save our gracious Queen. Long live our noble Queen. It's not Land of Hope and Glory. It's God Save Our Gracious Queen, right? Now, Corbyn, whatever you think of him, one of his views is he's a Republican. He doesn't believe we should have a monarchy. Mm-hmm. So what would the press have done if he'd sung the song?
Absolutely.
It would be hypocritical Republican Jeremy Corbyn sings God Save Our Gracious Queen. So just like an election, he can't win. What are we going to do with these MPs who will not pay their expenses that they owe to us, the taxpayer? Now, Badger called up earlier with an extreme solution. I mean, I say sack them. Badger says we should shoot them. I think that's a little extreme. Julia?
Badger's got a point there. He really has. But I think, shooting them is a bit extreme. But why not bring back the stocks?
The stocks?
Right. Yeah, in the middle of Westminster.
Right.
Westminster Abbey, perhaps, or right at the front, and line them all up in a set of stocks, and we can throw anything at them.
Not a bad idea, Julia. Yep, not a bad idea. The stocks. You put the politicians, you lock them in the stocks, and then you throw rotten fruit and veg at them.
Absolutely.
Bob's Breakfast.